So this is the ultimate barbarian build in Dungeons and Dragons. We've got great damage, great AC, tankier than a 90s Nokia, and most importantly, we're completely insane. We're starting super solid, then we hit level 6 and the world turns upside down. We're building in Shard because it's completely free. Let's go. Strength score is 15 because we're attacking using strength, Dex gets 13, Con gets 15 because we want to be juicy and thick, and Wisdom is 12, which is important later. That leaves us with 8 in Intelligence and Charisma. What can I say? I make characters based on myself. We're a barbarian. We're meant for kicking ass, not plowing it. Speaking of plowing, our background is Farmer. This gives us a +1 in Strength, Wisdom, and Constitution, and the Tough feat, which raises our maximum hit points by 2 for every level we have. Our species is Dragonborn, and honestly you can pick any color you like, but I'm going to go with brass because no one picks brass and fire resistance is very tasty. If you're allowing content from outside the 2024 rules, pick any flying species instead. For this build, we're going to strict to Dragonborn to use exclusively 2024 content, but the fairy or the owlin go even harder. Dragonborn still slaps though. We have a breath weapon which grows in power across the game, and it's based on our con score. And our con score is already 16, so we have a powerful ranged AoE, which is patching up a big weakness of most barbarians. Languages don't really matter in D&D, but I do recommend that everyone picks up Common Sign Language, because if the whole party speaks it, you can communicate silently while stealthing around. Barbarian level 1 gets us Rage for resistance to bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing, and we get a damage bonus on all our attacks. It also gives advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws, and with the new rules, you can maintain Rage if you use your breath weapon in place of your attack. We will take proficiency in the Intimidation and the Perception skills, thank you very much. And weapon mastery, we are grabbing it in the battle axe, which is going to be our weapon of choice for now, and the glaive, which is going to be our weapon of choice later. For starting equipment, we're just going to take gold, which gives us 125 pieces to play with. We are buying scale mail, a battle axe, a glaive, which we'll use later, and carpenter's tools in case we want to craft anything at any point. That leaves us with 27 gold left over for savings or for rations and supplies or for Pokemon cards. Level 1, you've got 17 AC, 17 HP, you're attacking with a battle axe for 1d8 plus 5 damage and potentially knocking enemies prone on a hit, and you've got a 1d10 breath weapon attack on top. Level 2 in Barbarian gives us Danger Sense and Reckless Attack. We can now attack at advantage anytime we like, and we have advantage on dexterity saving throws. Nice. Level 3 is our subclass, and we're picking the newest Barbarian option, Path of the World Tree. Now when we activate Rage, we gain a number of temporary hit points equal to our Barbarian level. D12 hit dice, the Tough feat, high constitution, 4 damage resistances, and temporary hit points. Yeah, we are insanely tanky. We can also grant temporary HP once per round to an ally for free. This is great team support, although later in the build we're not going to use it so much. From this level you can also use strength to calculate your perception, intimidation, nature, and animal handling checks, and we have proficiency in all of those thanks to being a barbarian farmer. Who cares that you're stupid and ugly when you can just rage your way to insanely good roleplay skills? Roleplay utility is kind of rare as a barbarian. It's not the point of this build, but it is kind of nice that we're really good at it. Level 4 gets us our first feat, and we are grabbing Pole Arm Master. This bad boy is fantastic, and it bumps our dex by 1 up to 14. We are going to be ditching our shield for a bit and the battle axe for the glaive, so our AC is only 16, but it doesn't matter, because thanks to the glaive and Pole Arm Master, we can attack enemies from 10 feet away and then attack them again as a bonus action for 1d4 damage. Our rage damage bonus buffs both of those, and 1 level later we get extra attack. And thanks to the glaive's graze weapon mastery property, even when we miss, we still deal damage. We also get fast movement at level 5, which buffs our speed by 10 feet. And that doesn't sound like a big deal, but it really is for this build. We'll get to that in a second. Finally, from level 5, we get access to our Dragonborn's secret weapon, Draconic Flight. As a bonus action, we can give ourselves a fly speed equal to our walking speed and can hover. With a fly speed and a reach weapon, we can soar above enemies outside of their range and poke them to death from the sky. And this is where the true chaos of this build begins. So far, we're just a great barbarian, but we're about to become the ultimate martial warrior in D&D.
Hey, you, yeah. Oh, hey dude, what's up? You're making a D&D character right now using D&D materials. for free.
Yeah, I'm building on Shard.
What's that?
Well, Shard is a tabletop website where you can build character sheets, manage campaigns, and review source books for free.
Wait. So you can make a character using feats and species and subclasses from D&D books without paying anything?
Yeah, Shard have a pretty simple philosophy. You shouldn't have to buy the same book twice just to use it online. The core mechanics from books like Tasha's or Eberron or even the 2024 rules are available for your character sheets at no charge. Yeah, it is wild. That's why I'm using it, so you can build along at home or build your own character sheets for free. They've also got tons of third-party content available too.
Hey, thanks for telling me. And don't worry, these lips are sealed. I'll take this secret website to the grave.
No, it's not a secret. I've linked it below. It's just a website. Anyone can...
Shh, I ain't seen nothing.
Okay, whatever. Link's below. I've got to get back to editing this video anyway. Build your characters on Shard for free. Sign up today using the link below and get creating. Okay, level 6 is here, and that means we get the beautiful, the terrible, the completely broken branches of the tree feature. Whenever a creature we can see starts its turn within 30 feet of us, we can use a reaction to force it to make a strength save. On a fail, it is teleported to an unoccupied space within 5 feet of us, and its movement speed falls to 0. That's already insane, but remember, we can fly. We're going to be hanging out 30 feet above our target. Their turn begins and we teleport them within 5 feet of us in the air, and they immediately fall back down to earth, taking 3d6 bludgeoning damage and as a result falling prone. And because their movement speed is 0, they can't even crawl away. Then our turn comes around. We float down 20 feet, we attack them 3 times with the glaive at advantage, #prone, and then we float back up without provoking an opportunity attack to repeat the entire thing every single turn. Remember, our fast movement speed gives us the 40 feet of movement necessary to do this, and it's about to get so much better, by which of course I mean it's about to get so much worse. Level 7, we take our first level in Monk. This gives us the martial arts feature, so our unarmed strikes deal 1d6 damage. That's handy, but we're going to stick with the glaive for now. Level 2 gives us access to focus points, letting us do things like flurry of blows or dash as a bonus action. Using flurry of blows in place of Polearm Master does deal more damage, but it's higher risk because you've got to get within 5 feet of your target. I recommend holding off for 1 level before we start doing that because it's the level that changes everything. Level 9, we grab our 3rd monk level and we are picking the new monk subclass, Warrior of the Elements. This is just crazy. At the start of your turn, you can spend 1 focus point to imbue yourself with elemental energy for the next 10 minutes. For that duration, our unarmed strikes have a reach of 15 feet. We can choose the damage type from among acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage, and when we hit a creature, we can force them to make a strength save, and if they fail, they are pulled up to 10 feet towards us. Let's just break this down. We are 30 feet above an enemy. We descend 15 feet, and we make 4 attacks against them. 2 with our normal action, and 2 more as a bonus action with Flurry of Blows. On every hit, we can pull the enemy directly towards us 10 feet up in the air, at which point they immediately fall and take another 1d6 damage and land prone. We get 4 shots at this per turn every turn, and our rage damage is added onto every attack, so 4 attacks is always going to be better than 3. Obviously. I'm also happy to assume that by level 9, you'll have enough money to just get or craft half-plate armor, and because we're attacking with unarmed strikes again, we can now don our shield. That is an AC of 19, and for our next level, we're taking it in Monk, giving us another feat. This gives us a +2 to our strength score, raising it to 18. We're attacking off strength, even though we are a monk, it's all good. Raising our strength also increases the save DC of our Barbarian teleport feature, which is still teleporting enemies 30 feet in the air, dealing 3d6 bludgeoning damage and robbing them of all their movement every single round. Because the enemy is so often prone, we also don't really need to bother with reckless attack, so we're just sitting there with 19 AC, 117 hit points, and 0 downsides. And we're not even close to done, because at level 11 we are taking our first level in Fighter. Your AC immediately jumps to 20 thanks to the defense fighting style, and you can use Second Wind to regain some hit points if you ever need to. Level 12 we take in Fighter as well. Action Surge just equals more attacks, which equals more damage, and Tactical Mind is a pretty decent feature, letting us buff our ability checks by 1d10. Again, this build isn't designed around being great at roleplay skills, it just happens to be the case that we are. Level 13 is Fighter level 3, and we get the classic Battle Master subclass. That gets us 4 superiority dice, which are a d8, and we can use them on any tactical maneuvers we choose. The disarming attack maneuver is really nice. It lets you expend a superiority die to attempt to disarm a target when you hit them. This is completely unfair when you're fighting spellcasting enemies, because you can disarm them of their spellcasting focus, and without that, they cannot cast spells. Goading attack is even more unfair, because you can force an enemy to have disadvantage on all attacks against everyone except for you, and you are hovering out of their reach in the air. But definitely the most evil option is menacing attack, because whenever you hit a creature with this, they have to make a wisdom saving throw, and on a fail, they are frightened of you. Frightened means a creature cannot move closer to the source of its fear. Here's where your DM needs to make a ruling, but technically, if a creature is prone and the source of their fear is directly above them, they cannot stand up, because standing up would move you closer to the source of your fear. Look, that is pretty ridiculous, but if your DM is down for shenanigans, it's kind of amazing. Even if the DM says no to that interaction, frightening enemies is still just fantastic, because your reach for melee attacks is 15 feet, so you can attack an enemy and they can't move closer to you on their turn to attack back because they are frightened. Fighter level 4 of course means another feat, and we're going to use it quite simply to buff our strength score to 20. At this point we flip back across to Barbarian and grab level 7, which gives us advantage on initiative rolls, and as part of the same bonus action we use to rage, we can move up to half our speed, which is great for getting in position in the air to pull off all of these shenanigans. Then we're going to take 2 more levels in Fighter, and sadly extra attack doesn't stack, but fighters do get a bonus feat at level 6. This one is super flexible. The safest option is probably just to grab a +2 to your constitution score. This gives us a huge buff to our hit points and raises the save DC of our draconic breath weapon attack. However, another great option is actually the resilient feat, which buffs our wisdom score by 1 and gives us proficiency in wisdom saving throws. Wisdom saving throws are some of the worst to fail in the entire game, and this one feat buffs our wisdom saves from a +1 to a +8. Trust me, you'll be grateful when it matters. However, for this build, I'm going to take the +2 to Constitution. Level 17 is our 7th level in Fighter, and this gets us an extra superiority dice, but more importantly, it sets us up for a devastating endgame. As you'll notice, we're now Barbarian 7 and Fighter 7, and we're about to reach level 19. That means when we take our next level in Barbarian, we will qualify for Epic feats. Seriously, that is how it works. Epic feats are way stronger than anything else in the game, and they let us buff our strength score beyond 20. You add epic boons manually in Shard, but it's really easy to do, and we're going to be finishing up the build with 2 epic boons. The first one we're going to grab is this bad boy, the Boon of Fate. Our strength score is now 21, and whenever a creature we can see succeeds on a saving throw, bam! 2d4 ripped away from their save. It's like Silvery Barbs, but better. This is just filthy because it lets us force through that initial saving throw to teleport an enemy, let them fall, and splatter prone on the ground. Then our torture can begin unimpeded, even if they would otherwise succeed on the initial save. Then we hit level 20, we take our final level in Fighter, get access to another feat and another epic boon. We're gonna pick the Boon of Irresistible Offense, which raises our strength score to 22. We have a +12 to hit, we have a save DC of 20, and whenever we score a 20 ourselves on an attack roll, we just deal a free additional 22 damage. We're attacking 4 times per turn at advantage, so we have a roughly 1 in 3 chance of triggering this every single turn, and that's before we action surge. We also have 20 AC, 249 HP, and a 4d10 DC 18 breath weapon attack. But the player build is only half the story. Let's talk about your gear. This build is tactically sophisticated, but all we're really doing beyond level 9 is punching, so anything that buffs our unarmed strikes is great. The insignia of claws and the wraps of unarmed prowess boost our attack and damage rolls, and so does the Eldritch Claw tattoo, and that one also adds 1d6 to our damage on every single strike. All of those are uncommon rarity as well, so they should be easy enough to get hold of. Any type of +1 shield or half plate is fantastic because it'll buff our AC beyond 20, and the Broom of Flying is low-key amazing. Dragonborn only gets so much fly speed a day, and this build really wants to bully enemies from the sky. If you didn't pick a permanently flying race, having the broom or some winged boots lets you pull off the combo indefinitely. In fact, if you can start with a Broom of Flying, maybe you start at a higher level where you get to choose an uncommon item, you don't need to play a flying species at all. You could pick another powerful species, like maybe the Bugbear, for example. That would add another 5 foot of reach to your unarmed strikes and 8d6 to your damage on the first round of each combat. This build is great for people who complain that martial characters don't have enough options or ways to get creative. No other build attacks enemies in this way, and you have so many angles for attack. You can target their dex saves, their strength saves, their wisdom saves, or you can just go gunning straight for their AC. No matter what they're really good at, you can find a way to harm them by targeting what they're bad at. If you want to follow this build exactly, I've uploaded this character sheet to Shard. Just follow the link in the description, it'll take you right there. You can also build your own characters on here too, completely for free. No need to buy a $60 book just to access one random feat from 5 years ago. Also, did you know that I donate 50% of all ad revenue to charity? The rest goes directly on the editing costs and graphic design for each video. That means this channel is supported exclusively through Patreon and YouTube memberships. I release tons of epic D&D content on Patreon every month, and no matter where you support, all supporters get access to a VIP Discord where we do regular live streams and just hang out. Also, once per month, I send a random supporter an epic D&D thing, like a source book or a set of dice or a deck of D&D cards, that kind of thing. Consider supporting if you can, it's what keeps the channel going, and if we can reach 2,000 paid supporters, we're at about 800 right now, I can donate 100% of the ad revenue to charity, which is kind of the dream. It's the reason we're keeping going. Also remember to check out other videos on the channel, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.